Hi, I'm Misty Purcell. I am the designer and fabric dyer of Luminous Fiber Arts, and I had a request to demonstrate the horizontal pin stitch, so I thought I would going to attempt to do a stitch with me video if I can see well enough while I've got the camera kind of in between myself and the stitching. But I'm going to demonstrate that and also a loop method start. And I'm going to start actually with the loop method because the stitching that I'll be doing, it's just some DMC in a small area. So I'm going to do a loop method start. This is 2 strands of floss over 2 fabric threads. I'm stitching on linen. And to do a loop method start, you take your length of floss and you're just going to fold it in half. Can you tell I'm a dyer? I've got dye on my fingers. Okay, so you're going to put these ends like that and thread them through your needle like so. Okay, so then your loop is down here and you've got the 2 ends here. Okay, and I just need to figure out where I'm starting. Let me see if I can zoom in for you. Okay, so as you're stitching, you're going to leave a little loop on the end. Bring your needle up, and you're going to put it in through your loop. Okay, like that. Pull up, like that. Now you're going to take your needle back down into the fabric where you just came up. And that is how you do the loop method start. Very easy. So I will keep stitching to finish this part, and then I'll show you the pin stitch. So how are you today? Today is Thursday, October 15th. I just finished week 8 of the semester. I teach college level Spanish in the introductory courses. My courses are intensive, so we meet several days a week. We go through the material pretty quickly. My classes are remote, so I teach on Zoom this semester. I'm getting better at it. It's definitely a challenge. You'll notice that, I'll zoom back out here. Probably don't want to look at my stitching that closely. What was I saying? Oh, I was talking about Zoom. Yeah, I'm getting better at it. I'm stitching two-handed on linen, and I'm using a Hardwick Manor hoop with a sit-on stand with the unfortunate name of Fanny. Not that there's anything wrong with the name, but it has connotations for people who don't live in the United States. What else have I been up to? My mom just came for a visit. She lives in Michigan and I live in central Pennsylvania, so it's a drive. But she just came for a visit over the weekend. That was really nice. We hit pretty much every local antique shop, and that was a lot of fun. We like to hunt around at antique shops. I didn't find a lot, but it was still really fun to hang out with her. And one of the really fun things about her visit, my aunt has been taking videos that my grandfather made of our family. They were on VHS, and my aunt has been having them digitized. So my mom brought some of those home movies on a hard drive, and I was able to transfer them to my computer, and we watched them together, and it was really fun. Some of them I'm older, and I vaguely remember my grandfather recording at holidays, but you know, others more like when I was 3. And so it was very interesting to see my 3-year-old self, and it was pretty amusing too. Okay, I don't know if I can flip this over very well with the camera in order to lock in the stitches on the back, so I'm going to pause and restart in just a second. Okay, so now I'm going to demonstrate the pin stitch, and this is where I actually would put my needle if I were going to start my stitch right there. But I'm going to go into the very center of the X. I'm going to go down in the very center. So I'm not going to go here. I'm just showing you where I would start normally. So I'm going to go here in the very center of the X. I'm going to leave a little tail that I'll hold on to. I'm going to come up right next to where I went down. I'm still in the center of the X. Okay, but I'm on the side of it now. Going back down into the center where I went down originally, so the very, very middle. And then I'm going to come up on the left side of the center. Okay, and go back down in the middle again. Okay, now I'm going to snip my tail close to the stitch, and it's locked in place. Now I can make my X like I normally would. So this is where I would make my stitch. I'm just coming up like normal, and I'm going to cover this up. Now I'm actually going to stitch across and then come back, like do one leg of the X and then come back. Sometimes this first stitch that you make, because it's covering up kind of a bump, it'll bump up a little more, and so you may want to make that pin stitch not on an end, like I just made it on an end, but you may not want to do that just because it can be a little bit more noticeable than if you kind of hide it 1 or 2 stitches in. Okay, how many of these am I making? 2, 4, 6. I should have made this chart bigger. Yeah, it is 6. It's my own design. It's my own fault it's not bigger. But it's good to test it out that way, then I know. Oh, I didn't do 6. I'm also not good at following my own designs sometimes. Yep, I got 5. Counting is hard. So it's fall. Let's talk about fall. It seems to be really close to peak for the leaves here in central Pennsylvania. I don't know what your weather is like and how your fall is going, but the weather has been a bit cooler, but not cold, really. And the leaves are all turning. It's looking very pretty. And I love fall. So some things I like about fall are food related, such as apple cider. I'm also a pretty big fan of apple cider donuts, so I admit I've had a few of those lately. Do you have a favorite pie in the fall? Mine is Dutch apple, and I like to have a little bit of orange peel in my apple pie. Adds a nice flavor. Okay, so now I've covered that up. Looks good. I'm just gonna keep stitching, and if you wanna hang out, feel free to hang out with me while I keep stitching, and if you wanna get going because you saw what you need to see, that's cool too. I'm testing some colors on a design that I hope becomes an actual design. Hopefully it works out. I mean, well, the design is designed, but you know, hopefully everything kind of comes together. So, you know, I don't know what fall things you do when there's a pandemic. This is something I would normally do. I like to drive through the state forest and look at the leaves turning on the trees. So that is something I plan to do pretty soon since we're at peak now, or pretty close to it. And I don't really get trick-or-treaters where I live, so I won't be handing out any candy. But I love to watch Halloween related movies, not like super scary ones, more like cute ones. Although I do watch some Alfred Hitchcock usually this time of year in honor of Halloween. I don't know if you have any movie traditions for the fall. I mean, my favorite, I love the Peanuts, so of course The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown would be my absolute favorite. But I like watching Hitchcock. I like Rear Window, The Rope, Shadow of a Doubt. North by Northwest is pretty good, and I also like Vertigo. I have seen The Birds. It's not bad, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite Hitchcock. So I like to watch a little bit of Hitchcock and then some Charlie Brown this time of year. There's a fall train ride that unfortunately won't be happening, but I've done that. And that's really cool. You get to take a train and look at the leaves turning, and there's a Halloween train for the kids, and the kids can dress up. But obviously this year, that isn't really an option. But it's very pretty. So do you watch any movies or TV shows to celebrate fall or Halloween, or how do you celebrate fall if you do? I always feel like it goes by too quickly, and that fall has kind of come and gone before I know it, and then it's winter, and winter seems very long in Pennsylvania. So I'm trying really hard to notice and be present in the fall and take walks and just notice the leaves. Yeah, take pictures, just try to be present. But I'm honestly in my free time stitching Christmas, and I'm all geared up for that. And so I'm like, I always wonder every year, how is it that I kind of miss fall and feel like it passes me by? And I always think, oh, it's because I'm so busy. Well, I am busy, but really, I think it's because I like move on to Christmas too quickly. Now, I kind of have to, because I'm a designer. I have to be working ahead, but I don't know. The thing is, I'm usually ready for like Halloween and fall in July and August, but that seems too early to start putting that kind of stuff up. So I think that's how fall passes me by, is that I actually pass it by. And here I am stitching spring, because that's the life of a designer. So I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving really comes at the end of the semester for us, and we're all pretty exhausted at that point at the university. This year, the students will be going home. They're still currently on campus and in town, but they'll be going home at Thanksgiving and not coming back for the rest of the fall semester. We have a week off for Thanksgiving, which is really nice. We used to only have, when I first came here, we only had Thanksgiving Day and the day after Thanksgiving, that Friday, off. And so what would happen is you'd have kids leaving before then anyway. And so as you'd get to Wednesday and you're teaching, the number of kids in your class keeps dwindling. So I was real glad when they made it a whole week off, because it lets people go home to be with their families and gives everyone a break. And it's not super fun for the kids who are stuck there with their teacher and there's only, 8 of them. They have to work a lot harder when there's only 8 of them because I call on them more. I'm not sure what my plans for that week are, except that I'd really like to take some downtime. I'm not very good at taking breaks, but I'd like to take some downtime that week and just, I don't know, kind of do whatever sounds fun. Maybe do some crafts. Not sure what I'll do, but yeah, I'd like to take some downtime. Of course, I'll have a Thanksgiving meal, and well, there might be some shopping involved, and the online shopping that ensues. Do you have plans for Thanksgiving? Mine should be a pretty small one, but I always like preparing for Thanksgiving. I think it's a nice celebration, even if it's a small one. I kind of started this tradition last year. I like to watch the Friends show, the Friends Thanksgiving shows on Thanksgiving. I think there's 7 or 8 of them over the years that they did. It's just kind of amusing to watch those episodes on Thanksgiving. So I'll probably do that again this year. Also, usually like to do a puzzle on Thanksgiving. I've got a nice fall one from Charles Wysocki that I'll probably do. So what do you do on Thanksgiving? Other than, eat, of course. What other traditions do you have? Do you watch certain things or play games? How do you celebrate Thanksgiving? I will be definitely making a pie. I might even make a Halloween pie. We'll see. If there's an excuse I can find to have pie, then I will I will take advantage of that. I'm trying to decide if this color is going to be too bright or if it's good. I don't know yet. So I stitched with a Brightech light, and the light is really good. It's so bright. It's really helpful. And I got that for Christmas last year, and it was great. It has been a great addition to my stitching. In terms of like tools, the light, it was recommended by Ivana. And I told my mom I wanted it for Christmas, and it's on Amazon, so she got it for me. It's a great light. I like that you can change. The one that I have is the one that has the wheeling base, and it has like a magnifier, and then it has the light. I like the, just have to reorient myself what I'm doing here. I like that you can adjust the color of the light, because when I'm designing, that's helpful. Now it can still be kind of hard to tell at times whether a color is right without looking at it in just natural light, but it's better with this light because I can adjust the warmth and coolness of the light. So I really like that. And it's just a very bright light, so I can see really well. And I felt like for a while I was needing magnification for some things, and I don't seem to be needing that now. I'm assuming it's because the light's just so bright that I can see really well. But yeah, I've got the one that has a wheeling base. I don't know. I mean, probably if I were to do it over again, I might get the one that's just a regular base rather than the wheeling base, because I don't find that I need to wheel it around, and it does take up a little extra space. But can't recommend it enough. It's great. Okay, I'm about out of floss here, and I think I'm going to call it good. Oops. For today. I hope that you enjoyed this demo and that it was helpful. And thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit today. If this is something that you enjoy, you know, maybe I'll do it again if there's interest. And I'll be back with a regular update video pretty soon. So I will catch up with you soon, and take care, guys. Bye-bye.